Welcome from Munich with my first tips and tricks guide to the brand new Apple iPhone 6s and the iOS 9 that's integrated. So we have the 6s and the 6s Plus with, of course, the latest software here by Apple. But what can you do with it? Of course, 3D Touch is one of the main reasons you get these new phones, and there's a whole lot of features that go beyond just what you can do on your home screen or in just a few apps. But before you will use a 3D Touch, let's go to settings and set it up right for you guys. So that's the first thing I want to show you how to do that. So if you go under general and then you have the accessibility area here on the way on the bottom, you have your 3D Touch where you can also turn it off if you don't want to use it, but you can also set up here the sensitivity between light, medium and firm. So I like to keep it at medium, and you can try it out here also on the bottom by pressing here this little picture where you can really try it out. Like with light, you don't have to press the screen that hard. With medium, a little bit harder, and yeah, it feels quite nice. Let's leave it at medium and let's go out and let's show you some features that might be interesting. Like, for example, if you just want to type something, you can now easily type it, of course, still with your keyboard. But if you want to change something on in what you type, then you can just strong press it and move the cursor around. That also works moving around the whole screen. So if you're in your notes and you have a note open, like for example here, you can just use the 3D Touch to go around the whole text, and you can also go further than the area on the bottom. So you can use the whole screen as a trackpad per se, and then you can really just go here on some space and then just continue typing and go somewhere else and continue typing there, or just go back here and delete that area that you changed. So that's quite nice, and yeah, you can just use your trackpad or your keyboard as a trackpad. What's also quite handy is if you have, for example, your email app. You have seen that in the keynote. You can now peek and pop. So for example, you can just take a peek at your email, and you can also right away reply, forward and mark with this little gesture you have seen me do. So if you just 3D touch it, then, or force touch it, it pops up, but you have to swipe it up to the top to also reply and forward or do other things. Or when you have the email open, or you have any app open with a link inside. Like for example, here I got an email by iCloud in German, and you can see there's a link. You can also force touch that and the link will open, and then you can also say open link in Safari or add to the reading list. So that's also quite handy here, this peek and pop feature. So these are two more tips that you can do, but 3D Touch is actually also available, for example, in the camera, where you can check out the last pictures that you have shot here by also using that feature there. Usually it works right away. So you can browse here through the pictures that you have taken, and you can also see a little bit of the video preview. Usually if you just take the first one, you can see here I shot a selfie camera video, which is looking quite good. Then when you go to the next one, which is also video, it doesn't do that anymore. So for the last image that you shot or video that you shot, it shows you also the 3D or the live preview, but otherwise that's not available. And if you're already here, you can actually also turn off that live preview right here on the top. But I suggest to leave it on if you want to do a nice, awesome live wallpaper. So if I just go here into the gallery and I want, for example, as the live wallpaper here, this nice picture, or actually there should be somewhere one where we have also the live video. Where is that? Or the live picture. That's interesting. I definitely shot one. Here we go. Where something is moving. So this is okay, quite alright. And now if you want this as a wallpaper, you can just say here on the bottom, use as wallpaper. For your lock screen, you can say which area. So for example, this area looks a little bit better here. And then you can also just try it out here by 3D touching it. This would be not perfect right now, but of course this looks quite beautiful here from the Oktoberfest, this picture. So I could use that, which I'm not doing right now, of course, obviously. And if I just want to go back, for example, to the last app I was, you can also use 3D touch again there. Just have to use this area on the left of the screen, just 3D touch that. And then you can see I could just go back to my emails, or what I can do if I just let it go here, we can browse through the last apps that are open. So through my task manager, where you can, of course, easily still close apps or just select them. If you just want to go quickly back to your last app, you can also do that by just swiping here to the left. So that's how you go to the last app quite easily. Something that I've seen, I think, in BlackBerry now for 2 years is what this feature is. The feature double tap on the bottom is also still available. So if you double tap here on that, you can easily set up everything here. So if you have the device in your hand like this, you can reach here finally still everything on the screen on the iPhone 6s Plus. For the smaller one, this is of course not something that you definitely need. And then you can easily just reach here, for example, for the front camera and turn it around and wait a little bit, then it goes back to the top. And if you're already here in the camera, I can also show you how to set up the 4K resolution for the video, because this is not enabled by default. That's also again quite easy. Just go to settings, and then here all the way on the bottom of the settings, there is an area called photos and camera. And then you can just set up here at record video the resolution that you want. Same goes for the slow motion video. You can set up the resolution there also and the speed. So these are almost all the features I want to show you here. My first part, which is mainly about the 3D touch. If you go to Apple Music, for example, there is also a 3D touch thing that's quite nice. So you can just choose any music song, like for example here in between, and 3D touch it. Then you can see the whole album, not only that song. And you can say you want to shuffle the whole album and play that. And it goes off and starts playing here on the bottom, of course over your 3G or Wi-Fi network. Another thing that's quite handy is that I haven't shown you before is actually if you want to search for something in the settings. Now finally we have a search area on the top. That's an iOS9 feature, and that's quite handy. So for example, if I want to change something in Siri, I can just type Siri here, and for example I could turn Siri on, because I don't have Siri on right now. One last thing I want to show you actually is then here 3D touch on the home screen can be quite handy for a few apps, not for all of them. Like for example here, there is some apps that just don't support it, but for example in the App Store I can right away search or redeem. I don't know why that's in German right now, but I can redeem my codes, or for example in notes I can start right away a new note, a new picture or a sketch, and here in the camera I can also right away record a video, selfie or whatever I want to do. So there's quite a few apps that support it actually, like for example also Safari and the Mail app also. And yeah, 3D touch is just everywhere. You just have to know in which apps. So this was actually it from my first 13 tips and tricks here for the Apple iOS 9 and 6s, 6s Plus device. Thank you much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my second part, which will be online in 1 or 2 days, also with even more features, like for example 3D Apple Maps, flying around, and how you play the rest of an album by just saying hey Siri and so on. So thank you much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Balazs, and bye.